My wife tried to have me killed. Now I'm falling for the Hitwoman. OP. I'm Aaron Johnson, a master carpenter from Broward County, Florida. I build custom pieces for high-end clients, dignitaries, even royalty. My workshop is my sanctuary, built with my own hands and every dollar I've earned. My wife, Jennifer, is a successful doctor, about to make the board of directors at her hospital. She never believed I could make it this far with just woodworking, as she called it. Ironic that my little hobby now brings in more with one commission than she makes in a month. Turns out, Jennifer was having an affair and wanted me gone. She tried to hire a hitman to take me out while I was in Japan learning a new mother-of-pearl inlay technique from Master Tanaka. But instead of a hitman, she found Kelly Love, an ex-SEAL who now runs a private security firm. And now my life has turned into something out of a thriller novel. How I found out. It all started with a rumor. My buddy Marcus, who works IT at Jennifer's hospital, overheard her talking in what she thought was an empty break room. He couldn't believe what he was hearing, so he hired Kelly to test the waters, see if Jennifer was serious. She was. Kelly set up the meeting at Emilio's, this upscale Italian place where the booths are private enough that nobody can hear you plotting murder. I've seen the recording so many times I've memorized it. Jennifer, swirling her wine, voice lowered, I appreciate your discretion in meeting me. This isn't exactly conventional. Kelly, professional, cool, in my line of work, discretion is the minimum requirement. Tell me what you need. Jennifer, leaning forward, I need him gone. My husband, he's in Japan now, perfect opportunity. Make it look like an accident. Kelly, sipping water, that's quite direct. May I ask why? Jennifer, scoffing, does it matter? We've grown apart, there's someone else. Kelly, and what about the money? Your husband's quite successful from what I understand. Jennifer, with a cold smile, he won't need it anymore. It'll all be mine. The prenup has a fidelity clause, but it only applies if I'm caught. Not if he's no longer with us. Kelly, I'll need half up front. Jennifer, sliding an envelope across the table, 10,000. The rest when it's done. Kelly, and how do you want it handled? Jennifer, something quiet, he's staying at the Kyoto Grand. Perhaps something in his room. Or on his way back from that woodworking school. Make it look like a robbery gone wrong. The coldness in her voice when she said it. I still can't believe I slept next to that woman for 8 years. Kelly recorded the whole thing. Now, I'm working with her to gather evidence against Jennifer. The police are involved, but carefully, we need to make sure this is airtight. Getting to know Kelly. Kelly is something else. Ex-SEAL, brilliant, and drop-dead gorgeous. Long locks cascading down her back, flawless dark skin that needs no makeup, and eyes that see right through you. We're spending a lot of time together, building this case. It's getting hard to focus on anything else. Today, we were at her office reviewing footage of Jennifer meeting with her lover. Kelly, tapping her keyboard, bringing up crystal clear surveillance, she met with her lover again today. Same guy, Dr. Davis, head of cardiology. Leaning closer to the screen, Davis. I've met him at hospital functions. Seems like a decent guy. Can't believe he's involved in this. Kelly, turning to face me, her expression unreadable, people can surprise you. Sometimes the most charming ones are the most dangerous. How did you end up doing this? Going from military to whatever this is. Kelly, slight smile, private security. I got tired of following orders that didn't make sense. Started this firm 5 years ago. Never expected to be stopping murder plots, but here we are. Thank you for stopping her, I mean. Kelly, holding my gaze a beat too long, it's my job. Me thinking, and so can hit women. Later, we grabbed dinner at a little Cuban place near her office. She told me about growing up in Jacksonville, joining the Navy against her parents' wishes, the years of training. I told her about learning carpentry from my grandfather, building my first real piece at 12, the feeling of seeing something beautiful emerge from raw wood. It was the first normal conversation I've had in months. And all I could think was how abnormal everything else had become. Update 1. The divorce begins. The divorce proceedings are moving fast. Jennifer is blindsided. She thought she had it all figured out. Now, she's losing everything. Today was the first hearing. Jennifer came with her attorney, Buchanan, some shark in an expensive suit. I had Kelly with me, along with my lawyer, Sylvia Martinez. Judge Coleman. Reviewing the evidence file, these are serious allegations, Ms. Martinez. Do you have supporting documentation? Sylvia. Yes, Your Honor. We've submitted recordings of Dr. Johnson soliciting what she believed to be a contract killer, along with financial records showing the initial payment. Jennifer. Jumping up, face contorted, this is ridiculous. He's making this all up. I'd never hurt him. Buchanan. Trying to calm her, Dr. Johnson, please. Jennifer. No, this is a setup. Aaron's trying to get out of our prenup. Judge Coleman. Sternly, Dr. Johnson, control yourself or I'll hold you in contempt. The evidence suggests your involvement in a murder-for-hire plot. Your assets are frozen pending further investigation, and the police will be notified of these proceedings. After court, Jennifer cornered me in the hallway. Kelly stepped between us. Jennifer. Hissing, you'll regret this, Aaron. You think you're so clever with your little setup. You'll never get away with this. Calmly. I already am. It's over, Jennifer. Jennifer. Cheers forming, what about us? 8 years, Aaron, doesn't that mean anything? It meant everything to me. Until you tried to have me killed. Kelly. Firmly, Dr. Johnson, I suggest you speak to your lawyer and leave Mr. Johnson alone. Jennifer. Giving Kelly a venomous look, who are you, really? His new whore. Kelly. Unfazed, I'm the woman who refused to kill your husband. Make of that what you will. The look on Jennifer's face as we walked away, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Jennifer and Dr. Davis. Later that evening, surveillance captured Jennifer meeting with Dr. Davis at his penthouse apartment. Kelly invited me to her office to review the footage. Jennifer. Storming into Davis's apartment, slamming her purse down, he knows everything. The recordings, the money, all of it. Dr. Davis. Pouring 2 glasses of scotch, hands shaking slightly, calm down, Jen. We need to think this through carefully. Jennifer. Grabbing the glass and downing it, calm down. My life is falling apart. My assets are frozen, I could lose my medical license, and I might go to jail. Forgive me if I'm not feeling particularly calm. Dr. Davis. Adjusting his glasses nervously, what did your lawyer say? Jennifer. Pacing, Buchanan says we need to discredit the recordings. Claim they're edited or taken out of context. Dr. Davis. Lowering his voice, and us. What about us, Jennifer? Jennifer. Softening, moving closer to him, Robert, you're all I have left now. We just need to be careful. If they find out about us, the fidelity clause in the prenup. Dr. Davis. Pulling her close, we'll figure it out. I have connections, resources. We can still make this work. Jennifer. Kissing him desperately, I did all this for us. So we could be together without hiding. Dr. Davis. Whispering against her hair, I know. And we will be, just not the way we planned. Jennifer. Pulling back, eyes suddenly calculating, unless. Dr. Davis. Concerned, unless what? Jennifer. Stroking his face, let me worry about that. I'm not giving up on us, Robert. Not after everything I've sacrificed. Kelly paused the footage, turning to me. She's planning something else. We need to be careful. I felt cold watching them together, plotting, even as everything crumbled around them. The woman I married was a stranger to me now. Update 2. Complicated feelings. Things with Kelly are complicated. We're building a connection, but there's this whole tried to have me killed thing hanging over us. And the guilt. I almost cheated on Jennifer with the woman she hired to kill me. How's that for irony? Today, Kelly came by my workshop. I was working on a new commission, an intricate jewelry box with cherry wood and brass inlay. Kelly, running her fingers along the grain, this is beautiful. The detail is incredible. Focused on carving, thanks. Each piece tells its own story. The wood guides you if you listen. Kelly, watching intently, you have incredible talent, Aaron. Putting down my tools, thanks. It's all I have left, really. The business, the craft, everything else is. Kelly, you have more than you think. You have yourself, your integrity. That's more than most. Moving closer, and I have you. In a way. Kelly, holding my gaze, Aaron. Leaning in, Kelly, Kelly, pulling back slightly, not yet, Aaron. We need to get through this first. You're still married, technically. And you're vulnerable. I won't take advantage of that. Sighing. You're right, of course you're right. Kelly, squeezing my hand, I'm not going anywhere. Just. Let's do this right. She left shortly after, and I stayed in the workshop until midnight, losing myself in the wood. Trying not to think about how her hand felt in mine. The inner struggle. I wake up at 3 a.m., my mind racing. The workshop beckons, it always does when I can't sleep. I grab my robe and head downstairs, flipping on the soft overhead lights that cast a warm glow over my tools and works in progress. What am I doing? I think, picking up a piece of sandpaper, feeling its rough texture against my fingers. My wife tried to have me murdered, and here I am developing feelings for the woman she unwittingly hired to do it. There's something poetic about it, in a twisted way. Jennifer never understood this part of me, the craftsman, the artist who finds solace in the grain of wood and the smell of sawdust. She tolerated it, celebrated the money it brought in, but never truly saw me. Kelly sees me. From the moment she walked into my life with that recording, she's seen me more clearly than Jennifer ever did in 8 years of marriage. I run my fingers along the half-finished jewelry box, feeling the smoothness of the cherry wood. The irony isn't lost on me that I'm creating something beautiful in the midst of such ugliness. Is it too soon? Am I rebounding? Or is this something real? The questions haunt me as I work, losing myself in the rhythm of sanding and shaping. By dawn, my hands are tired but my mind is clearer. Whatever this is with Kelly, I want to find out. But she's right, we need to do this the right way. Update 3. Undercover. A week later, Kelly calls with news that Jennifer and Davis are meeting with someone suspicious at the marina. She suggests we do some surveillance of our own. Kelly, on the phone, bring casual clothes. Nothing that stands out, I'll pick you up at 6. When her black SUV pulls up, I'm waiting outside my house. She's wearing a sundress and oversized sunglasses, looking nothing like the tough security professional I've come to know. Sliding into the passenger seat, nice dress. You look different. Kelly, smiling, good different or bad different? Caught off guard, good. Definitely good. Kelly, turning serious, we're just a couple enjoying an evening at the marina, okay. No obvious staring, no phones out recording. I have equipment that'll handle that. We park and walk toward the waterfront, Kelly's hand casually slipping into mine. My heart races at the contact. Kelly, whispering, they're at the third table on the patio at Harborview. Man in the blue shirt is someone new. Squeezing her hand, this feels like a strange first date. Kelly, laughing softly, is that what this is? A date? Stopping to look at her, I don't know. Is it? Something flickers in her eyes, vulnerability, perhaps, or caution. Kelly, gently, let's focus on why we're here. But maybe later we can discuss what this is. We find a table with a view of Jennifer and her companions, order drinks, and pretend to be engrossed in conversation while Kelly's equipment does its work. Kelly, leaning close, speaking softly, tell me something I don't know about you. Surprised, what? Kelly, nodding subtly toward Jennifer's table, we need to look natural. So tell me something real. Thinking, I'm terrified of losing my hands. It's my biggest fear, not death. I could face that. But losing the ability to create, that would be worse than dying. Kelly's expression softens, and she reaches across the table to touch my fingers gently. Kelly, I understand that. For me, it's my mind. The thought of not being able to trust my own judgment, my own perceptions, that's my nightmare. Is that why you left the SEALs? Kelly, nodding slowly, partly. I was asked to do things without context, without understanding why. I needed autonomy. Our conversation drifts, becomes genuine. For moments at a time, I forget why we're there, lost in learning about the woman across from me. Then Jennifer's laugh cuts through the air, and reality crashes back. Kelly, tensing slightly, they're exchanging something. Under the table. Resisting the urge to turn and look, what is it? Kelly, casual tone, eyes sharp, can't tell. But my bet is money. The guy in blue looks like a pie. Voice tight, she's hiring someone else to finish what you wouldn't do. Kelly, covering my hand with hers, let's not jump to conclusions. But whatever it is, we've got it recorded. As we leave the marina later, Kelly's equipment safely capturing everything, she drives me home in silence. The tension between us has shifted, grown heavier with unspoken feelings. Kelly, pulling up to my house, Aaron, I need to tell you something. Me turning to face her, what is it? Kelly, hesitating, I've never mixed business and personal feelings before. It's a rule I've always had. But with you. Holding my breath, with me. Kelly, meeting my gaze directly, with you, all my rules seem to be bending. And it scares me. I've faced down armed operatives with less fear than what I feel right now. Softly, what are you afraid of? Kelly, vulnerability showing through, that I'm just part of your trauma. That when this is all over, when Jennifer is out of your life for good, you won't need me anymore. I reach out, touch her cheek gently. That's not going to happen. Whatever this is between us, it isn't about Jennifer. It's about who you are, who I am when I'm with you. She leans forward, and for a moment I think she might kiss me, but instead she rests her forehead against mine. Kelly, whispers, then let's finish this. So we can find out what comes next. Kelly wrestling with the situation. I watch Aaron from across my office as he studies the surveillance photos, his brow furrowed in concentration. This wasn't supposed to happen. He was supposed to be a client, a unique one, granted, but still just a case. My training prepared me for combat, for undercover operations, for danger in its myriad forms. Nothing prepared me for him. I've spent years building walls around myself, keeping people at arm's length. It's safer that way. In my line of work, attachments are vulnerabilities. Aaron Johnson shouldn't be any different. But he is. Maybe it's the way his hands move when he talks about his craft, confident and gentle at once. Maybe it's how he looked at his wife in those old photos he showed me, with such open devotion, even after she betrayed him in the worst possible way. There's an honesty to him that disarms me. I catch myself watching him too often, finding excuses to meet in person rather than call, thinking about him in quiet moments when my guard is down. It's unprofessional, dangerous, and absolutely unavoidable. What if I'm just a response to trauma for him? What if I'm confusing his gratitude with something deeper? These questions plague me, even as I find myself drawing closer to him. One thing is certain, Jennifer Johnson is still a threat. I recognize the look in her eyes when she confronted us outside the courthouse. She's not finished yet, and until she is, I can't fully explore what's growing between Aaron and me, no matter how much I might want to. Professional distance. That's what I need to maintain. At least, that's what I keep telling myself, even as I feel that resolve weakening every time he smiles. Update 3. The twist. Plot twist. Turns out, Dr. Davis, Jennifer's lover, is actually her half-brother. Apparently, her dad had another family she never knew about. She's disgusted, and now she has to meet this father she never knew, who happens to be the client I made that inlaid box for. I found out when Jennifer called me, hysterical. I agreed to meet her at a neutral location, a park near our old house. Jennifer. Pacing, makeup streaked, I need to talk to you. It's not about the divorce. It's about Robert. Dr. Davis. What about him? Jennifer. Hands shaking, he got a call yesterday. From his father. His father wanted to surprise him by revealing he had a half-sister. Realization dawning. No. Jennifer. Nodding, face ashen, me. Robert is my half-brother. My mother. She always told me my father died before I was born. But he didn't, he just had another family. Jennifer. I don't know what to say. Jennifer. On her phone, voice breaking, you're telling me, he's my father. And he commissioned that box. The one with the jade inlay. The one you were going to give to Davis after I was gone. Jennifer. Sobbing, I don't know what to say. We were, Robert and I, oh God, I'm going to be sick. I think you've said enough. I had brought the box with me, I was planning to drop it at her lawyer's office. Instead, I handed it to her there. Your father commissioned this for his daughter he never knew. Ironic, isn't it? You were going to give it to your lover as a gift after your husband's accident. Instead, it's from the father you never met. It felt like closing a chapter. As I walked away, I heard her crying behind me. For the first time since this all began, I felt nothing. Update 4. The aftermath with Jennifer and Davis. 2 days after our meeting in the park, Kelly received an anonymous tip with an address. We arrived to find Jennifer and Davis in a heated confrontation in his apartment. Kelly insisted we wait in the car while her equipment captured the exchange. Jennifer. Throwing the glass against the wall, how could you not know? How could neither of us have seen it? Dr. Davis. Pale, sitting with his head in his hands, I had no idea, Jen. How could I? My father never mentioned. Jennifer. Hysterical, 8 months, Robert. We've been sleeping together for 8 months. Do you understand what that makes us? Dr. Davis. Looking up, anguished, of course I understand. I'm living this nightmare too. Jennifer. Collapsing into a chair, I tried to have my husband killed for you. I was going to throw away everything, and now. Dr. Davis. Voice hollow, have you spoken to him? Our father. Jennifer. Bitter laugh, Richard Davis. Respected philanthropist, patron of the arts. The man who abandoned my pregnant mother and never looked back. No, I haven't spoken to him. Dr. Davis. Quietly, he wants to meet you. He called again this morning. Jennifer. Staring blankly, and say what? Sorry I missed your childhood, but look at the beautiful trinket I had your husband make for you. Dr. Davis. Standing, Jennifer, we need to talk about what we're going to do. Jennifer. Looking up sharply, do. There's nothing to do, it's over. Everything is over. Dr. Davis. Moving toward her, the police are still investigating the murder plot. We need to be careful about. Jennifer. Cutting him off, don't touch me. Don't ever touch me again. Dr. Davis. Stepping back, we need a story. Something to explain our relationship if it comes out. Jennifer. Coldly, a story. You want me to craft a narrative about how I unknowingly fell in love with my half-brother and tried to have my husband killed so we could be together. Please, tell me how to spin that. Dr. Davis. Desperate, we didn't know. That has to count for something. Jennifer. Gathering her purse, it doesn't matter anymore. Nothing matters. I've lost everything. My marriage, my reputation, my career, and now even this twisted thing we had is tainted beyond salvation. Dr. Davis, grabbing her arm, Jennifer, please. Don't do anything rash. Jennifer, pulling away, let go of me. We're done. All of us, you, me, Aaron, all of it. Just done. As she stormed out, Dr. Davis sank to his knees, sobbing into his hands. I felt a strange mix of vindication and pity watching the footage later. Kelly, turning off the screen, she's spiraling. That makes her unpredictable. Quietly, and dangerous. Kelly, nodding gravely, potentially. Let me increase security at your place, just to be safe. Update 5. New beginnings. The divorce is finalized. Jennifer is facing charges. The DA is pursuing attempted solicitation of murder. Davis, well, that's a whole other mess. He's resigned from the hospital. Jennifer's father is trying to connect with her, but from what I hear, she's not ready. As for Kelly and I, we're taking it slow, but things are good. We had our first official date last night, dinner at a little seafood place right on the water. Kelly, looking out at the ocean, so, what's next for the famous Aaron Johnson? More royal commissions. Smiling, actually, I'm thinking of teaching. Sharing the craft, maybe open the workshop to apprentices. Kelly, that sounds perfect for you. What about you? Still saving potential murder victims? Kelly, laughing, I'm thinking of being more selective with my clients. Focus on the ones who don't try to hire me as a hitwoman. Taking her hand, I'm glad you made an exception for me. Kelly, me too. My final update to this whole ordeal. Before our lives settled into this new normal, there was one last hurdle. Jennifer showed up at my workshop unannounced one evening. I was alone, Kelly having left an hour earlier to handle a client emergency. Jennifer, stepping from the shadows, I almost didn't recognize the place. You've changed things. Startled, hand tightening on a chisel, Jennifer. You shouldn't be here. Her moving closer, looking different, thinner, harder, I needed to see you. One last time before the trial. Me, wary, I have nothing to say to you. Jennifer, eyes roaming the workshop, you're still making beautiful things, while my life lies in ruins. Somehow that seems fitting. Tension in my every muscle, you created those ruins, Jennifer. No one else. Jennifer, nodding slowly, looking guilty for the first time, I know. That's why I'm here. To tell you I know that now. I say nothing, watching her carefully as she moves among my tools and projects. Touching a half-finished table, did you ever love me? Really love me? Exhaling slowly with my full irritation showing, with everything I had. For 8 years, there was nothing I wouldn't have done for you. Jennifer, her bitter smile plastered like a mask she'd prepared for this moment, except give up this. Your precious workshop, your dream. Me finally understanding, is that what this was about? You thought I loved woodworking more than you. Jennifer, shrugging, you certainly chose it over me enough times. Working late, traveling to learn new techniques, talking about grain patterns and joinery at dinner parties until everyone's eyes glazed over. Setting down the chisel, I invited you to be part of it. To understand it, you never wanted to. Her eyes welling up on the brink breaking, I wanted a partner. Someone present, not competing with pieces of wood for attention. For a moment, I see a glimpse of the woman I married, vulnerable, human. Softly I continued, we both failed, then. But only one of us tried to have the other killed. Wiping her eyes roughly, I met him. My father, yesterday. Me surprised at the change of subject, how did that go? Jennifer. Hollow laugh, he cried. Said he'd thought about me every day for 35 years. Showed me pictures he'd collected, my medical school graduation, clippings of awards I'd won. all while raising his son, my half-brother, and never once reaching out. I'm sorry. Her now looking directly at me, I'm turning myself in tomorrow. Pleading guilty. Me stunned. What, your lawyer was fighting everything? Her fully resigned. What's the point? I did it. I'd have let you die in a foreign country, all because I was angry and lonely and in love with. She chokes on the words, I just wanted you to know. And to say I'm sorry. Not that it matters now. After a long pause, thank you for telling me. Her heading toward the door, are you happy? With her, I mean. With Kelly. Hesitating. We're finding our way. Bitter smile. Good. At least something good came from this nightmare. She leaves as suddenly as she appeared, and I stand in my workshop feeling a strange sense of closure. The next day, Kelly confirms Jennifer made good on her word. She's in custody, having confessed to everything. The present. Life threw me a curveball, but I'm landing on my feet. I've got my workshop, my craft, and maybe, just maybe, a new love. And that's something worth fighting for. Tonight, Kelly and I are sitting on the deck behind my workshop, watching the stars emerge. Her head rests on my shoulder, and for the first time in what feels like forever, I'm completely at peace. Kelly. Softly, you know, when Marcus first contacted my firm about this case, I almost turned it down. Surprised. Really, why? Kelly. Tracing patterns on my palm, it sounded too personal, too messy. I prefer corporate security, technical challenges. Not emotional ones. Kissing the top of her head, thank God you didn't turn it down. Kelly. Looking up at me, I think about that sometimes. How close we came to never meeting. How differently everything could have gone. In my workshop, there's a concept called divine proportion. It's this mathematical ratio that appears throughout nature, art, architecture. When things align according to this proportion, they're naturally harmonious, balanced. Kelly. Smiling, are you saying we're mathematically destined to be together? Laughing, I'm saying that out of all the chaos and pain, something perfectly proportioned emerged. Something that makes sense in a way nothing else does. Her kissing me softly, the craftsman and the ex-seal. Who would have thought? As we sit together under the Florida sky, I'm struck by how life's darkest moments can sometimes lead to its brightest lights. Jennifer's betrayal nearly destroyed me, but in its aftermath, I found something genuine. Something real. And that's a piece worth keeping. Edit. Wow, this blew up overnight. Thanks for all the support. To answer some common questions. 1. Yes, Jennifer's case is still ongoing. She pleaded guilty but the sentencing hasn't happened yet. Her lawyer is working for a reduced sentence based on her cooperation. 2. Kelly and I are still together, 4 months strong now. She's teaching me self-defense, and I'm teaching her how to carve simple designs. We're both terrible students and perfect teachers. 3. Dr. Davis has moved across the country to start over. I don't blame him. I understand needing a fresh beginning better than most. 4. And yes, I did finish the mother of pearl inlay project from Japan. It's now the centerpiece of my workshop. Sometimes the worst moments in your life lead to the best ones. Stay strong, everyone.